Tonight on Connecticut's news station, shocking stories from our state's healthcare workers. We're looking at new policy now going into place at hospitals to protect our doctors and nurses when patients grow combative.
Plus, as tensions remain high amid fighting in Israel, there's growing calls for more funding to keep religious institutions here safe, while local leaders are saying it's necessary.
I kind of heard this really weird growl, and I felt kind of like a scratch.
Plus, after fending off a rabid bobcat, camp counselors share their story. We'll hear how the group worked together to keep campers safe.
Now at 6, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Good evening and thanks for joining us for the news at 6. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. Violence directed at our healthcare workers is apparently getting more severe and more frequent. That's according to the Connecticut Hospital Association and its members.
And tonight they're saying enough is enough, and they are implementing a brand new code of conduct policy in all the state's hospitals. Fox 61 New Haven County Bureau reporter Julia LeBlanc explains how you can help.
The CHA says every day in Connecticut, at least 5 healthcare workers are assaulted in hospitals in our state. So they're creating this code of conduct to say they're not going to take it anymore.
Every day we come in, every day something happens.
Teresa Marks has worked as a nurse in the emergency room at John Dempsey Hospital at UConn Health for 4 years. In her 6-year career, she says patients and visitors have grown more violent.
We have had staff members that have been kicked in the head, scratched, pinched, bit, kicked. Or I've been smacked in the face before.
The context with which they look at it is that empathy, that healing, and they often go beyond and say, it's okay. But it's really not okay, folks. It's not.
So healthcare leaders are taking action, setting a new statewide code of conduct for all patients and visitors coming to Connecticut hospitals.
To say together what we expect and what we will do when individuals come into our environment that will not respect the healthcare workers.
They will not tolerate aggressive or violent behavior, discriminatory language, sexual harassment, or weapons being brought into hospitals. Those who violate the rules will be held accountable or asked to leave.
Do not touch us, do not hurt us, and do not be disrespectful to us.
The group is hoping to stop what's contributing to a severe healthcare worker shortage.
I had a young nurse come up and made a statement, happens to only have been a nurse for a little over a year, who made a statement, I can't do this for much longer. We're going to lose staff.
But they can't do it alone. They need your help to turn things around by following the new rules and making a difference.
It's calling people to second guess why they got into healthcare. It's impacting the critical thinking that's needed to provide safe, quality care.
Now, the CHA and lawmakers have also secured more funding for safety and security measures in Connecticut hospitals. Plus, right now, they're working with the state's attorney's office to properly prosecute those who violate these rules. We are in Wallingford. Julia LeBlanc, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right. Thank you, Julia. Turning to the weather now. The weekend's here, and so, of course, is the rain. We hope you scheduled it in. Look at that soggy grass.
Yeah.
This was a scene in East Hartford this afternoon as it really started to come down.
And we know it's going to keep coming down tomorrow as well, but what about the whole weekend? Well, let's bring in Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank and talk about it. Rach?
Yes, Sunday is looking much better and drier. The day won't win any beauty contests, but at least you can make outdoor plans. Tomorrow is looking wet. Surprise, surprise. Our trend of wet weekends continues. Taking a look right now, we've got some showers out there. There are parts of the state that are just cloudy and misty and drizzly, but it's not too bad right now, especially in far eastern Connecticut, where there really hasn't been much rain at all. Middletown, Cromwell, Rocky Hill, and Glastonbury, though, all seeing some heavier downpours. And while the rain is much lighter right now in Granby and Windsor Locks, these downpours will be moving back in again. A couple showers around stores, too. And as we widen out the picture, you'll see more showers to the south. Nothing particularly heavy, though, heading back in. So occasional rain, fog, drizzle as we head through the evening and overnight. We also have what's going on to the west. Part of that will rotate through as well. Temperatures right now in the 50s to right around 60 degrees. Overnight lows are going to continue to hang in the 50s as we head towards daybreak. And tomorrow we'll see periods of rain, and it could come down like today, heavy at times, especially as we head through the midday and early afternoon. But as we step into the evening, we will start to dry things out. We'll take a closer look and talk about the winds, which will be picking up right around this time tomorrow, coming up.
All right, Rachel, thank you. And to the war in Israel now. And Hamas has reportedly released 2 American hostages, a mother and her daughter, on humanitarian grounds. The hostages have been identified as Judith and Natalie Rainan. A source says the release came about following mediation efforts by authorities in Qatar. Hamas had been holding the 2 since the militant group staged a surprise attack on Israel almost 2 weeks ago. And as that fighting continues in Israel and tensions remain high globally, Connecticut Senator Chris Murphy is calling for more money to protect synagogues, Jewish community centers, mosques, and other religious institutions here.
Fox 61 political reporter Emma Wolfhorst spoke with a senator and religious leaders in the state. She joins us now in studio with what they're saying. Emma.
Sarah, Bren, Senator Murphy cited rising hate crimes and anti-Semitism, not just in the past 2 weeks since Hamas's attack, but more broadly. The FBI recorded more than 11,000 hate crime incidents last year, the most since it started collecting this data in 1991. Murphy tells me these institutions need this funding now.
People have to feel secure, and that's what we're focused on.
Religious leaders in Connecticut working to increase security after the militant group Hamas's attack on Israel 2 weeks ago.
I wouldn't say there's fear, but there's anxiety, there's awareness, there's alertness.
From the minute this took place, we've been in close contact with all of our Jewish agencies and with law enforcement.
The Jewish Federation of Greater Hartford's president, David Warren, says there aren't any immediate threats in Connecticut, but it's important to be prepared.
We know that when Middle East violence ratchets up, anti-Semitism rises, and sometimes violent anti-Semitism.
Something Connecticut's federal lawmakers are worried about, too.
Hate groups, extremist groups in the United States tend to become more activated during times like this.
Murphy is calling for an additional $500 million in funding for FEMA's nonprofit security grant program to strengthen security measures at-risk institutions.
Many of our Jewish community centers or our Islamic centers in Connecticut have really no basic security measures.
This funding could go toward measures like installing gates and motion lights, conducting preparedness and prevention planning exercises, and contracting security personnel, steps some Connecticut groups have already taken. The Jewish Federation of Greater Hartford has a community security director who serves Jewish institutions across the region.
He's focusing on site assessments and security training, on intelligence and law enforcement coordination. And so it's a very comprehensive effort that has already been in place for several years.
Warren and other leaders tell me they're not taking any chances.
If we don't have safety, then we don't have peace of mind, and we don't have really anything as far as an operational level.
And Murphy also telling me he's trying to get this security funding more quickly by including it in the supplemental emergency funding bill for Israel and Ukraine President Biden is pushing. But with the House still nowhere close to electing a speaker, there's no telling how long it could take to actually get this money through. Sarah, Brent.
All right, thank you, Emma. Yeah, after losing out on the House Speaker gavel in 3 rounds of voting, Ohio Congressman Jim Jordan says he's still working to unite the Republican Party and elect a new speaker. Jordan got 194 this afternoon, short of the 214 votes he needed today, earning fewer than House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries. He's a Democratic nominee for Speaker. We spoke with Representative Joe Courtney about the ongoing chaos in the House.
Emotion is sky high out there. There's no question about it. And but believe me, the phone lines will be burning up this weekend, and it should be.
It appears no one can currently win a GOP majority, leaving the House without a speaker and unable to function for the foreseeable future.
In the wake of the Bridgeport ballot battle, one Connecticut town is being proactive to make sure their drop boxes are as secure as possible.
Fox 61's Matt Karen visited Enfield to see how their surveillance systems are getting a big upgrade.
Video surveillance alone can't stop somebody from cheating. We saw alleged examples of that in Bridgeport, but it can deter and detect. In Enfield, and there we are.
And there we are.
This is what election security looks like.
There are cameras in this general vicinity, but this is actually just upping the game and quality.
With some spare change in the town election budget, Enfield spent about $8,000 putting state-of-the-art cameras at each of their 3 absentee ballot drop boxes. The town of Enfield considers this money well spent. Ultimately, it's all about election security. These cameras installed at each of the town's 3 drop boxes. The picture so clear they can identify license plates, individual faces, and colors, all through artificial intelligence.
All the film is captured, stored in the cloud. So again, it's easily available, backed up.
Compare that to the grainy, unusable picture from the cameras outside Bridgeport City Hall during the recent ballot fraud hearing.
We watch current events, and as any municipality probably does, we run through the gamut of could that happen here.
Enfield says the drop boxes have been popular. A few years ago, a handful of mail-in ballots sent through the Postal Service arrived after Election Day and had to be tossed out.
There are people who were still a little hesitant about the United States Postal Service.
Not only are these cameras able to tilt and zoom, but the video is easily searchable.
We can do a search and find all people with red shirts. We can find all white pickup trucks. We can find anything with a license plate ending in 412 or whatever we wanted to do.
So far, 574 registered voters in Enfield have applied for an absentee ballot for the upcoming election. As of October 6th, their requested ballot was mailed. Voters can continue dropping them off until 8 p.m. Election Day, November 7th.
If there is any inclination for people to use the absentee balloting process, we want them to know that civic engagement is important and their vote counts and their vote will be counted.
And for municipal elections, turnout is notoriously low. Here in Enfield back in 2021, it was only about 30% voter turnout, but more than 1,000 of those votes were absentee ballots, 10 of which had to be thrown out for issues like not having a signature. Moral of the story, check those packets, read, follow the directions. Reporting in Enfield, Matt Caron, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.